Cinco, what, fist up today! Fist up today! Oh, fins up, baby! Miami, stand up! This is Fins Talk today! Let's go! Sun up over day, game day on the brain, from the tailgate smoke to the hard count rain. Orange aqua on my back, crowd shaking every seat. We talking ball, talking heat, turn it up, feel that beat. Fins talk today, fins talk today. Fins up all day from the 305, we ride that way. Bobby Fins talk, Fins Sammy on the way. Miami, vamos, it's Fins talk today. Hey, 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 it's Fins talk today. Who you reppin'? Who you riding? Miami, who you riding? Dolphins, we break it down, break it live, every snap, every drive. Hey, Fins talk today. Fins up all day from the 305, we ride that way. Fins talk, Fins Sammy on the way. Miami, vamos, vamos, it's Fins talk today. Hey, 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 Fins talk today.
All right. Hello, everybody. Happy President's Day. It's a holiday for some of us. We're not working. I wasn't working. I was like, wow, I don't have anything scheduled. I do have to coach my son's basketball game later, but that's later. It's a playoff game. Probably going to get eliminated, but maybe not. Who knows? Either way, I'm like, I'm going to take the day. I'm going to sleep in. I ignored my alarms. I'm going to do this. And I said, I don't know why. I kept waking up. And maybe a divine intervention. I don't know. Now that I think about it. And I look at my phone. Nothing. I wake up again. I look at my phone again. And there's Sammy. And he's like, hey, Hill, Chubb, gone, Daniels. I'm like, what the hell? Jumped up, splashed some water on my face. No day off for old Bobby. And so, man, oh man. So the breaking news, Tyreek Hill, as of now, let me just say, because I don't think this is done, but Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Nick Westbrook-Ikini, James Daniels, all cut by John Eric Sullivan and the Miami Dolphins. He had said in his opening press conference, to say, please, I'm going to get to know everybody, blah, blah, blah. Don't take it personal. Everything I'm going to do from this day forward is for the best interest of the Miami Dolphins. And the best interest of the Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Nick Westbrook-Ikini, James Daniels, all cut. That clears, according to Tom Pelissero, with the addition of Nick Westbrook, because Spotrac had it with Tyreek Hill, Chubb, and Daniels, $45.5 million freed up of cap for the 26 cap space. Now that you add Nick Westbrook-Ikini, that is now 66.98, which is over 56 million in the 26 cap for Tom Pelissero. Sammy, you're doing your own thing. You had a Monday planned out. You were telling me you were busy getting some stuff done for Fins TV and whatever, and you see this pop on your screen. What was your immediate reaction?
Was at Costco, basically, there was some errands. I got home and I was like, man, I don't have Fins TV for another, month, basically a month. I can't wait for Thursday to share some time with Bobby to talk some Dolphins. Fins stuff today. The song is in my mind, and then like breaking news. I'm like, oh crap! I was thinking of myself. I say, Bobby, this is hitting the shit has hit the fan. They're cleaning house, so we expected this, but this early, I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect this today for sure. President's Day or this week, probably closer to the free agency period. When they say they're still evaluating stuff, they tell Tua, we're still evaluating, and you'll be the first to know. I was thinking like, that's gonna take a while, but they're working fast, they're working hard. Sullivan's cleaning house. That's nice to see, because it's gonna take a lot of work for this team to to go with where they expect this team to go. So the earliest the better. So I kind of like that. So it's sad to see the Tyreek Hill era finally over. I was reminiscing, looking back, so much potential for that. It's kind of sad that this is the way it has to end, but it is what it is.
Yeah, let's see. 8-time Pro Bowler Tyreek Hill released. His release will save $22.8 million against the cap. I'm getting some text messages from other people. Let's see let's from this group here on the clock. Wingate asking, is it Tyreek injured? Is there any injury settlement happening or what's going on? Don't know. It looks like it's a straight up release. Maybe he's healed. Raphael in the comments asking, why is the Dolphins releasing Tyreek? Can you explain why they released Tyreek Hill and are keeping Tua? They're not keeping Tua. The Tua thing's going to happen. Just hasn't happened yet because it's a little more complicated than the Tyreek Hill deal. Tyreek, you could have just got out of. And this is for DSG, who first time I've seen him in a little while. So hello, DSG.
Hey,
great to see you.
Even I missed them. Welcome back.
I'm saying it's been a little bit, but what I'm going to say, I don't think this, this has a lot more to do with the cap than it does with any kind of knock on Tyreek quitting on the team a couple years back during a game. I think this had more to do because of the hit. And so they cut him, they free him, they cut him loose, and now free up a whole bunch of cap. Now we have to see what the penalties are and what actually is the freedom of the number. Tati's like, oh, well, does this mean they're going to go after someone big? No, they don't. For those who are going to ask that question, I don't think they are. I think it's going to be, it's wise spending and starting small and growing organically as we go. Raphael says Tyreek Hill is live right now on Twitch and being quiet about landing spots. So there you go.
He changed the profile to unemployed. He doesn't say Miami Dolphins. He says unemployed right now. He did that. He changed that. He changed the profile. That's for sure.
He said unemployed.
Yes, he was probably unemployed. That's what he reported already.
They replace him with another Packer. Yeah, maybe Christian Watson or something. Devontae Adams.
Okay, that guy that's usually with the Jets. Like Aaron Rodgers like so much. I don't know that.
I know who you're talking about. Lazard.
That guy.
Lazard.
No.
Lizard. I call him Lizard.
Please no. Please don't.
Let me see as we go about here. Let's take a look.
Yeah. But DSG basically, I don't know. That seems like you're complaining, DSG. They will replace it with another Packer. But if it was Aaron Rodgers, I'm pretty sure you will not complain with that Packer, right? I'm just throwing that there. Will you complain about that? Let's stir the pot. Will you complain, DSG? If it was another Packer was Aaron Rodgers? I don't think you would, right? I'm waiting for him to answer. I don't know.
Let's see. Tyreek Hill at Snapchat following his release with the Dolphins. He says, end of amazing part of my life. Thank you, Fins fans across the world. I love you. Until next time. So Tyreek making his comment regarding him being cut.
The guy play hard. We can say everything we want about Tyreek Hill. The stuff outside the field. The goofing around sometimes, but the guy on the field play hard every single time, and that's basically how his career with the Dolphins ended. He was playing hard for the Dolphins for a team that was going nowhere. He was playing hard, and he got injured. So, my respect in that part of the game for Tyreek because he played hard. As a Dolphin, he gave everything. Every play that he played hard, he played to his best. We can't debate how many times he took a play or two off, or pulled a hamstring or fake hamstring or whatever. But the guy is, for me, one of the best to ever do it as a Dolphin. So I sort of, not looking back, I'm gonna miss it, and it's gonna be a wasted opportunity that is gonna be frustrating for quite a while now.
So I'll say this before the first 2 years, the first year Tyreek Hill was here, especially, it was all that was advertised. I mean, when we got him, it wasn't like you traded for him and it was like, man, what a bad trade this was. Like Bradley Chubb, when that move happened, he was Gruden and there were some people complaining and it didn't start off too good. There were some bright spots. There were some times where you're like, damn, that's awesome. But in regards with Tyreek, when he got here, he lived up to those expectations. I mean, he elevated the offense. He elevated Tua. He was electrifying. I mean, it probably was the most electrifying player since Ricky Williams on our roster.
Absolutely.
So there is my biggest knock was in those final couple of years, especially, yes, I understand when the Dolphins were struggling and he was trying to do something with anybody and, he got out and you start to saw a little bit of the frustration, and when he quit on the team and quit during that game, like, I'm done. It is what it is. Water under the bridge. It's over. But that was my biggest knock on him. Other than that, he did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was advertised to do. Tyreek Hill is exactly what people say he is. One of the most electrifying players in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But it came to a point where it was just a bad connection, a bad relationship. It was toxic. It wasn't going to work. No matter what the regime was, Tyreek is a presence bigger than what it is. And you, especially if you want to go ahead and strip everything down and start a new culture, it's like, okay, first off, as much as I'm sure someone like John Arizona will love a talent like Tyreek Hill, with that hit, that cap number, and the personality, you gotta say, okay, we're gonna move on. We gotta strip this down and then build it back up. Because if they were to say, oh, let's go ahead and keep Tyreek, let's go ahead and keep this guy, and let's keep and they go in and we're gonna try to do this right, then you're basically having the same thing. You're having the Chris Greer 2.0 and whatever. No, yes. John Arizona is actually doing what he said he was going to do, what most people expected him to do. Absolutely. Was clear house, move on. You're not expecting this team to go anywhere. If you don't expect this team to go anywhere, why keep someone like Tyreek Hill? What's the point? Why spend all that money? Spend all that money. If you're not going to go to the playoffs every year, if you're not you're trying to build yourself up, what's the point? There's no point. Why would you spend how many? I don't know how much his cap number was. How much, over 20, whatever it was. How would you,
for sure.
How are you supposed to justify that cap number when your team is not doing nothing?
Mm-hmm.
So, Raphael says cutting Tyreek is a bad move by the franchise. In what world? Respectfully, in what world is it a good move to keep him? You're not going to do anything. Your team,
and we don't know. We don't know the player we're getting. If he wasn't injured, I can understand why the debate. Maybe because we don't know what the player we're getting.
If you're one or two players away, if you're a quarterback away,
yes,
then yeah, you don't get rid of Tyreek. Hey man, let's say you have the number 1 pick. And you're like, man, we already have Tyreek. We got Devon Achane. We got these guys. Man, we're a quarterback away. We got the first pick. We're going to Mendoza. Then, yeah, you keep Tyreek because Mendoza needs a weapon. But here's some breaking news bigger than Tyreek Hill getting cut or Bradley Chubb. The Dolphins are not a quarterback away. They are so much more away. So, no, respectfully, and I mean that. Respectfully, it is not a bad move. It was the correct move for a new general manager and a new head coach and a new regime in Miami. It was the smart move. DSG, you're probably right because they have their quarterback. So it would be smart for a team like Buffalo, which would suck. It would suck for a team like Buffalo to pick up someone like Tyreek, because damn well Josh Allen's arm and Josh Allen and Tyreek is dangerous. Now, Raphael, I think a thing that could have been, I don't know how much money they would have saved, but trying to find a trade partner for Tyreek, maybe.
Injured when you know what you're getting, that's very hard.
Now I do it. What are your thoughts on Tyreek? Was that a mistake for the franchise? No,
actually, no. They took a gamble. They traded for the number 1 player in the NFL, both by the spear. So, he was number 1. And, basically he did everything that first 2 seasons. He did everything that anyone could have wanted to. He wasn't perfect. Also, the field, that's a completely different story. It was very not perfect at all outside the team. But, in the huddle, sometimes, probably you can see Tua was, throwing jabs, not basically naming Tyreek, but we all knew he was talking about Tyreek. That was very obvious. Some plays that he took away, with the hamstring and stuff. But he was the number 1 player in the NFL. So that the Dolphins won that trade at the moment. That's the truth. They won the trade at the moment. They could not do anything afterwards. They extended him too early. The Dolphins did not need to extend into that last contract extension. But that they made that mistake, well, not only with Tyreek, but a lot of people. But the Dolphins did the right thing. If Tyreek wasn't injured, that's a completely different story, because you had to evaluate him by the fact that he's a player that is over 30 and whatever, and the cap number. But the fact that he's injured, I'm sure he doesn't even know the kind of player is going to come back. Apparently, there have been reports that the rehab is going well and the injury wasn't as bad. That's great. That's going to be great for him going forward to another team. But for the Dolphins right now, no, there's no way the Dolphins can keep it. The Dolphins are in a rebuild. The Dolphins basically already showed their cards. They're moving forward. They're moving forward with young players, and having Tyreek Hill, when you're trying to basically have a new coaching staff, a new direction, a new boys in the locker room, Tyreek Hill. That's one part that Tyreek Hill doesn't going to take well. I wish him well in his future endeavors. I'm not sure he's going to go to Buffalo, because I probably wants to. He's going to have the chance to go to Las Vegas. He's going to have the chance to go to LA. He's going to have to get a chance to go to the Chiefs. And then, I don't think that he's going to say, why not Buffalo? So I would be shocked if he goes to Buffalo. They might be hard pressed to overpay, because like they did with Baumgartner a couple of years ago. But I don't think Buffalo is going to be the place. I think it's going to have more opportunities, more lucrative opportunities. If anyone takes a gamble on Tyreek Hill, hopefully he comes back. Hopefully he's a great player. I will not mind if he comes back to Miami and starts for the next 2 years, because we're going to be rebuilding. So I don't care. So best of luck to him in future endeavors.
Yeah, and DSG says, in all seriousness, I'm cool that the tank is on. It's Miami Sports in the house, as I think we have 66.98 per Tom Pelissero. 60. We've cleared 66, but basically 67 million. We've cleared 67 million, and we're over 56 million in the 2026 cap right now. Let's see here. Lou from Dade in the house. Lou
tonight. Lou's going
that's right.
tonight.
Lou's live tonight.
Ellen Poopar. So good luck to
That's
them.
right. So that's huge. So make sure you tune in tonight on the SoFlo Sports Show with Lou and Ashley, 305 Sports Babe. They have Chris Perk and Poopart on. So I think that's what I saw. I think I got that right. Hopefully I did.
Yeah, you got that right.
The SoFlo Sports Show. I don't know how they're under 1,000 subs. It's criminal. Hello, guys. Make sure you watch that show. They're gonna, Lou and Ashley are gonna ask all the questions you want answers to. Those guys should have the answers to most of them. Make sure you're watching that show tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Lou and Ashley. Raphael says tanking teams should forfeit first-round picks as punishment. These are people's careers. This proves
absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah,
but we're gonna suck. We're not gonna tank. We're just gonna suck.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm gonna say, for those who want the Dolphins to tank, I don't expect them to tank the way, like, on purpose.
Nope.
I expect them to, what they're doing,
the reality
clean out the roster.
Yes,
get some guys. They're gonna compete, because this is people's careers and they don't want to lose.
Yeah.
But they're not, again, Miami cannot afford, Miami can't afford all the talent that they have. They're not winning the games. You can't win that type of, all those games, which Miami hasn't, put that type of effort on the field and spend that much money.
Yeah.
Your team is not worth that. You need to clean house, which Miami has done. Clean house, clear up your wallet, just like in any company. New management comes in, right? There's a new owner, a new manager, new president, whatever. They come in, Sammy, and they look around and they go, okay, man, this company's in debt. What do we got to do?
Every single time, yes.
Okay, that VP over there, what does he do? Oh, he does this. Okay, we're going to have to let him go.
And he got a bonus of what? No, he doesn't deserve to get him out of here.
That's right. It's the same thing. That's what's happening right here.
Yes.
It's a cleansing period. So, no, Miami will tell you, no one's going to tell you, oh, outright, we're tanking. No, they're not tanking. The season is way far off. They are clearing house. And now, right now, they've cleared over close to $67 million and $56 million for this cap space. And Ritter, you're right. This proves new QB1. Cleanse the team. Yes. This is the end of an era.
Yes.
Like, this is not the same. Listen, when you probably would not have gotten this if it was Chris Greer and a new coach. We would have probably kept a lot of these guys. Probably we would have reworked their deals. stretch them out, do something. And then we probably would have had 30 million in cap, and then we would have came in the next season with basically the same roster and a couple new players.
Yes.
No, we have a new GM, a new coach. It's over. Is it going to work? We don't know. But hey, at least we're seeing something different for the first time in a very long time in Miami. Go ahead, Sammy. I apologize.
No, sorry. You're doing great. It's like the analogy I used a couple of weeks ago, or probably the last week. The Dolphins cannot take the Dolphins cannot take a second mortgage on a house to take a vacation to Disney World or to be in a pool. That doesn't make any sense for the Dolphins. You cannot keep indebting yourself. We're gonna, right now we have Tua, Tyreek, all those players that didn't work, and we're basically gonna stack over them to build on that didn't work. They have to move on. And they're probably gonna move on for Tua. That's the reality of it. Either gonna post June 1st or one, fill-in swoop, which I don't know, but by cleaning so much of the house, it's telling you they might do it in 1 year thing for the Dolphins. And basically, right now with the savings they got from these cuts and more, they might also add the Tua hit and basically play even had a lot of young players, a lot of veterans in the last years of their career, and take 1 year off by basically playing a lot of rookies, a lot of young players, because that's the reality of the situation of the money in Miami. It's not tanking. They will tank if we had a lot of great players and we started playing a lot of great players in the prime. That would be, or you have, I don't know, you have Joe Burrow and basically trade him away because they say it's not gonna work. Tua says our number in Miami. Even if he comes back next year, which I read that right now, and that probably if economically is the thing that makes the most sense, and I'm sticking to that because I still believe that's the case. But I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna move on. They're cleansing the franchise, as someone said. That's 100% right. And if they're in debt, because basically they're in debt, the captain has it in debt. You can get out of when you say everybody says, oh, the cap is fake. It kind of is. You can basically find a way to move out of it. But that doesn't make it. It's not going to eventually caught up with you. Look at the Saints. The Saints are still paying for the mistakes of trying to win a Super Bowl with Sean Payton. And how long has Sean Payton been there? And they're still indebted in the cap because they guess kicking the can forward to later years. They're still in debt. So the best thing that this franchise can do, and this region has no attachment to Tua, to Tyreek Hill, to Daniels, to anyone on this roster, to anyone. They're not. They have no attachment to anyone. They can fire anyone. They can trade anyone. They can release anyone. And that's basically what they're doing. They want to start over. They're going to be responsible for the things they do. It's like Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel had to, inherit the coach, the defensive coordinator, the special discipline. And what happened later? A couple of years later, he had to fire the defensive coordinator. And later he had, basically, he went in bed to Tua, so had to, he, did everything he could with Tua, and who knows what would have happened if the Dolphins moved from Tua. That's a mistake I also made. I'm not preaching that I was right. Everybody knows I was a Tua defender, sure, but they're supposed to be smarter than me, and they weren't. So you are going to be responsible for the decisions you take from this day forward, from this year forward. So they have to do whatever they're going to be responsible for. So if it is what it is, get a clean house, get a clean steak, and let's start moving forward with it.
Yeah, and I just posted some of the tweets here from Jordan Schultz from the Schultz Report. Tua remains a cut candidate, but Miami would prefer to find a trade partner, and that Miami does not want to drag on the Tua situation for too long. Again, shout out to Lou and Ashley, who were at the Dolphins.
Oh, yes.
The season ticket, I think, member dinner there. And they posted some video of some of the conversation with John Eric Sullivan and Coach Halfley. And Sullivan said the same thing. He's not going to give the answer because, he hasn't told anything to Tua. He wants a Tua to know first. But I think that decision, conversation has happened where it's like, hey, no official decision is made because either we're going to cut you or trade you, but once we know, we'll let you know. But we're probably going to move in the right direction, and we're going to add competition to the room. Somebody paraphrasing here. If Lou's in the comments, Lou, please, if you want to just paraphrase what exactly they were saying. But But we're going to add competition to the room, whoever the quarterback is. So they are going to make a move there, whomever that's going to be in free agency or the draft. And, but, you know, they don't want that situation. Look, they just showed it. They didn't drag on the Tyreek Hill situation. They didn't drag on the Bradley Chubb situation. The what if. Now we don't need to ask the what if anymore, Sammy. We don't have to spend half an offseason wondering, oh, are they going to trade or cut Tyreek? What's going to happen during the draft? We don't have to worry about that anymore. They cut him. They're out. You know, now we know, hey, wide receivers definitely a need in Miami in the draft, in free agency. Edge rusher, you know, there's a good handful of them in the draft. Wide receivers deep as hell in the draft. You know, again, wide receiver, round 1, you know, you got, you know, Carnell Tate out of Georgia. You got oh my goodness, forgetting his name right now. Crap. But anyway, Jordan Tyson, second round, Chris Bell, Chris Brazil, you know, so Zachariah Branch. You have a lot of these different types of guys in there. Edge rusher, Ruben Bain, God willing, he's there at 11. David Bailey, Zion Young in round 2, you know, Danny from Penn State. There's a good handful as you go on. So now the mock drafts become a little simpler now, because now you're like, okay, we definitely need a wideout. We definitely need an edge rusher. We definitely need a guard. We're not talking about that. One of the biggest bust for Dolphins free agency was James Daniels. We were like, finally, they get a decent guard. He gets injured again. He's out. We never saw him. So guess what? Right guard is a need now. My answer, or not my preference, move Savannah to right guard and go draft a left guard or sign a left guard. Savannah needs to be on the right side. There's your answer. Okay. Nick Westbrook-Ikini. That's another one. We got our big body wide receiver. Where is he? Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere in there.
He ain't on a team no more. So, you know, it's become so much more important. What else does this kind of throw at me here? Obviously, we know Dolphins want to trade Tua. I guess it would be also big draft capital, but also cheaper to cut than to trade. I think they're going to cut either way. So shout out to Finstanza, who was saying he wants him to be cut, and we were debating him. It might actually happen. But what this also says is that at pick 11, with all these major needs now come into play, and everything you've heard about, or at least from Sully, about collecting draft capital, and that's his goal, I think number 11 is going to be a trade down.
Absolutely.
I think this is going to be a trade down. And
Yes,
this
sir.
is the year it could happen, because there are going to be some really good players at 11 for a lot of teams. If you want a star wide, you can get a good wide receiver. Shout out to Drew Collins, who was on our Fins Talk draft show last night. He was awesome. He was freaking awesome. Awesome young man.
He has to come back. Was great.
100. Thank you. Yeah, 100%. But he talked about this wide receiver class, that you could get a wide receiver 1 in 2 or 3 or whatever. But if somebody wants Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate or Ruben Bain or David Bailey or one of these Mamanoa or Spencer Fanu or one of these tackles, they're going to come up to Miami. So Miami could come away with 2 to 3 picks this offseason, or 2 this year and 1 next year. This is the year to do it. And when you look at all these cuts, major cuts, these aren't some nobodies. These are 3 somebodies and somebody who didn't show up, especially Chubb and Tyreek Hill, somebodies. You know damn well Miami is going to be active in regards of trading. Let me make sure I'm not missing any. What are your thoughts, Sammy?
Absolutely. You know, I was thinking the same thing we were thinking. That spot at 11, that's the kind of spot where you know teams are going to reach out on talent because of necessity, and one of those top 10 players are going to fall down to the Dolphins at 11. Is next year's draft is reported to be much better than this year's draft, and Dolphins will be looking for a quarterback next season. I would not mind trading into the late 20s if you get those back at first. We've seen that every single other year when you see teams in the late 20s looking for someone, and they basically moved into the 10s, early 10s, and you get a first-round pick this year and the one next year. The Rams did it last year. You see the Rams having 2 first-round picks. They want that trade. So that would be great for the Dolphins if you can find that, because, of course, the Dolphins are going to be looking for that franchise quarterback next season. I already know who I want if that's the case, but, what the hell do I know? It will be great for the Dolphins to have, their first-round pick and some ammunition if they need to go up. So a lot of holes in this team next year. So they can also stay there and pick anyone, player available, which is something the Dolphins have basically not done. They have reached out for position, what they did with Austin Jackson, Benagoni, and so many others. But basically, they had to reach because of necessity. So it will be great if the Dolphins are in the best spot available at 11 during the next year's draft. We'll have to wait and see. But for me, right now the 11th spot is looking much better right now than it looked a couple of weeks ago, because I think, like you just said, like a couple of teams probably always reach out. That's what I said. Always reach out, but you're right that basically someone can fall, and you have teams looking to move up to the 11th spot. That would be so good for the Dolphins for sure.
So let me see. Raphael says, I think new GMs make splashes and trades up for a player. Hopefully no Deion Jones type of situation. I don't see that with Sully. I don't see that at all. I'll tell you, Raphael, you can never rule anything out, but I'll just say I'd be shocked if he moved up for any reason. And again, I would love to have Mendoza on this team. I think it's a match made in heaven if it could happen, but I'd be shocked if he tried to trade up, because I think he wants to gain picks, not lose them. Anthony Manzano in the house. Bobby with us releasing Tyreek. Do we stick with drafting small receivers like Malachi Lemon, or do we move away from that and draft bigger guys like Jordan Tyler, Denzel Boston 11? So the at least from my vantage point, hope maybe someone knows better than I do in regards to Packers strategy, whatever history. They usually go after bigger guys, and Sully's talked about big. He's bringing up size. You can't, fast can go slow into cold, but big can't go small. So I don't think Miami would be against a smaller receiver, 5'11", whatever. There are some decent guys. We talked about it last night on the Fitz Talk Draft Show with Drew Collins of Roundtable Sports and Josh Wingate and Coach Vogel. If you're looking for someone it's funny because we just talked about this, to replace Tyreek Hill in regards of speed. He brought up, there was this one player, and I want to see if I can find it, and forgive me if I don't.
While you look at it, I'm going to intervene very quickly. I have the Packers' last draft picks, wide receivers in 2019 to 25. Matthew Golden 5'11", Samuel Williams 6'4", Jalen Reed 5'11", Devontae Wicks 6'1", Grant DuBose, who was in Miami, 6'2", Christian Watson 6'4", Romeo Doubs 6'2", Samori Toure 6'1", and Amari Rogers 5'9". So basically they're all over the place. But you don't see a lot of people basically under 6 foot. So it's 6 foot or over. So the Waddles basically they're out. So
and again, the guys that he was bringing up was Lewis Bond out of Boston College, Brennan Thompson, a guy that I think could. You can never really replace a Tyreek Hill type production or Tyreek Hill type receiver. But if you're looking for speed, Zachariah Branch. However, I agree with Sammy. I think bigger receivers over 6 feet. Tyson.
Good run blockers also. They need to be good run blockers. That's something they strive for.
Yes, and again, when we're going to do a few mock drafts during, obviously I'm working on a special type of one, any, wide receiver could be an option at 11 for sure, depending on who's sitting there. But I think it's more than likely Miami is going to explore trading down and gathering more picks and building up, through the draft. DSG says, I think they will go big. Anthony seems to be the trend in the NFL now. Absolutely. BPA, Raphael says Dolphins took Grant over Tyler Warren. Yes, I agree. And that's why, again, I don't sleep on any player at 11 or any pick when it comes to Miami, whatever the first pick may be, because there are some decent tight ends in this draft. There are some, Sadiq out of Oregon is a big one. There's a few others. But yeah, I would think a bigger receiver might come into play. And you could get a quality receiver in round 2 or 3 or 4 and come away looking good. Hey, Bobby, I have a question. I sent you a couple of drafts I did in a private chat. Is there a way you can copy and react to it with Sammy? Anthony, with this episode, we're just going to focus on these news here, my man. On another show, we will do that. I do have them. I did see them. So maybe on the draft show, we'll do it one of these times, my man. Maybe one of these. Let's see. Make sure here we're not missing anything.
I'm on it.
Yeah, I'm looking. You never know because the way this is going. But again,
Who are released?
I know that's a whole other one. There.
Just kidding, guys.
Yeah, no. He's playing. But yeah, it's major, man. Just major. You know, you would think. You know, we wondered what's going to happen with Tyreek. What's going to happen with Bradley Chubb? Bradley Chubb. I know a lot of people hated on him since he got traded here. I was not one of those guys. I really liked Bradley Chubb. Obviously not at the number, but I did like Bradley Chubb. And
yeah, me too. Absolutely.
If it was a rework deal, if they figured it out, bring him back cheap, I would do, especially that the need for edge rusher. But I think he moves on. So you know, sucks for that, but it is what it is. I think he was on the Good Guy Award list, wasn't he? Then he wasn't even Man of the Year or something like that for the end. He was a
candidate for Man of the Year. He was a candidate. So Dolphins nominee for Man of the Year.
Yeah, so he's a good dude, man, and sucks that we're going, but I think edge rusher comes into play at 11 or via trade down. And again, there's some good guys there. Anthony is not a David Bailey guy, says he's too skinny for Halfley and Sully. He's only 235. Yeah, we'll see. There are some edge rushers here. Depending on who you ask about the edge rusher class, Wingate doesn't, haven't seen too much from him. He's not too much of a believer in the class yet, where myself and Drew are a little bit. Max Crosby wants out of Vegas. I don't know if Miami be willing to give up the draft capital for Max Crosby. That's a Chris. I love Max Crosby. I'll say that. I'm a big Max Crosby elite. But if you go after Max Crosby, that's a Chris Greer move. I don't think that's a Sully move. Even though they did go after Micah Parsons in Green Bay, they were trying to make a run for the playoffs. Miami is not on that stage yet. Now, if Miami's having a great run this year or next year, and then maybe they need an edge rusher, then that might come into play. But I don't think it's going to happen this offseason. Let's see here. Again, later tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, SoFlo Sports Show live with Lou and Ashley. Going to have Chris Perk and Poopart on to discuss. Our friends on Fitz Faithful are going to be live later on today too. I think 4 p.m. I think they have a guest on as well. Let's see. Ari Marav from the My Sports Update will be live with them to talk about Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb. Schefter said something and I didn't see it. Let's see. Okay. So he's just saying this Miami moves today will save the Dolphins in roughly 23 million, 26, and that number increases to 30 million with Bradley Chubb's releases coming. So, everybody's reporting different things because depending on where you're reading it from or who you're hearing it from, Palacero says 56 million this season. Spotrack says 45 million, and Schefter says 23 million. So Tyreek Hill, potential landing spots according to PFF: Kansas City, Washington, Colts, Raiders. Raiders seem like a Tyreek type of move. But I could see him going back to KC. I could see him reuniting back with those guys and wrapping up his career there. Raphael says, don't forget, Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver 49ers, wants out of San Francisco. That would be available. But DSG's right. Brandon Ayuk would want the money, and I think Brandon Ayuk has some issues going on with him. That's why John Lynch and company are moving on. You're muted, Sammy.
Okay, I'm putting Steve Haddad. Tyreek makes more sense if you think about it. Makes more sense for the Chargers. I'm sorry, Ayuk makes more sense for the Chargers than for the Dolphins. With my Daniel over there, it makes a lot of sense because that's his buddy. That's the guy he has wrestled with, even with who was in San Francisco. So to go to the Chargers, that will make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and only the real survive is there, man. But Tyreek Hill might want to go to the Chargers. Justin Herbert might be there. My goodness, man! Like, isn't that a big fu? To Miami, Mike McDaniel. You bring in Tyreek. You got Adam Gase, which is to me like, that was
trade Waddle to trade Waddle for a first and same.
Just do it, get it over with. Let them
out,
have it all.
I want him to stay, but he wants out. Same thing.
But that's the thing too. Like, these are major moves for guys: Hill, Chubb, Ikeni, James Daniels. Those two guys on the bottom there, Nick Westbrook and Daniels. Those are guys that just were signed and produced nothing. Were major at the time. Tyreek and Bradley Chubb, bigger deals. But these are 4 guys that you're like, okay, that's it, man. Wow, they made the major moves. Guess what? They're not done. That's freeing up cap. You still got to figure out Tua Tagovailoa's situation, whether you're going to trade or cut him. That's going to be a major hit. You're right. If they cut him, that's basically to balance out what they just saved. Now you're down to 0 or negative whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but if you trade him, might save a little more. It might have some room. And then then I think what also comes into play is the Jalen Waddles, is the guys that are on the roster that you would think there's no way they'd get rid of them. Hey, maybe they do trade Jalen Waddle. Minka Fitzpatrick could be available there. You might trade him for some draft capital. I am not on board with this whatsoever. I know they spoke highly of him, but Devon Achane, does he come into play? I hope not. I really don't. I really do not. But again, I don't think this is over at all. I think this is the thing. You think the offseason, you guys think, those content creators, you guys think you got the time off? You think you're gonna have to relax? No. On a Monday morning where you think you could get to sleep in and chill out and maybe just coach your son's basketball team, you have your tag team partner on Fit Talk Today messaging you, waking you up, going, "Hey, we got to talk." And I'm like, "Oh crap," which I'm completely grateful for.
Not sleeping.
Wake up! What are you doing? Get your ass up. I'm sorry.
Sleeping late.
I am disappointed if it stands. So usually I get a Bobby, yeah. Where are you? I know you're watching. But
I know Canadians went mad, but I didn't know that applied to Evan. What is Evan? Everybody's looking for Evan. This is nowhere to
It's like Home Alone. Man, what's up?
Yeah.
Very specific. I was knocked out, brother. I was sleeping on it. Check my phone. Like, what? Oh, Mike McDaniel's the OC, not the head coach. He is the OC. Yeah. You're right. Mm. But Harbaugh and him are getting pretty dang cozy. They went to a Lakers game, and those connections are there. Trust me, nobody's looking at the bad right now with Mike McDaniel on the other side. They're only looking at the good stuff. They're looking at he ran the number 1 offense a couple seasons back. He's not the head coach. He's the OC. We're not worried about that. So what are they going to do? Let's go get the guys that he likes. Oh, Tyreek Hill, him, maybe. We don't know if they get along or not. Who knows what's going on with that? But it makes sense. I think they put a call into Tyreek. I think they put a call into whoever's available. They're going to do that.
Some of the money. The money is right. You might see him in San Francisco, in San Diego. I'm sorry, in Los Angeles, with the Chiefs, with the Bills. The money is right. Anywhere is possible. But also, we're thinking like Tyreek is going to be back to full potential. Hopefully he is. The reports have been that he's just doing great with the rehab, and we should only want the best. Only the best, but the reality is that injury was pretty, it looked very gruesome. So, who knows? We don't know what kind of player he's going to be when he returns. Bobby got so excited. I thought we were frozen. He got so excited. He's frozen, but no, you're good.
No. We're cutting a lot of the players. Franchise should cut a new logo as well.
Oh, here we go with the logo again.
Yeah, there you go. Always.
Well, so see, if we're gonna take a minute to talk about the logos, the good thing about the logos is that now they revamped the rules. So basically, you can submit to the league. Even still, I think it's 4 months before the season starts. A revised uniform, if you want to, if it gets approved, you get to have a new uniform for the next season. So the Dolphins can make changes. They can do whatever. The problem is that I don't think they want to. Stephen Ross apparently doesn't want to, but I would love for the Dolphins to do. If you're not going to change the logo, do some tweaks. I don't know, orange socks and a color face mask, and that Miami word, that another font, the font that you have on the jacket Tati gifted you. That's the best
Yeah.
Dolphins logo. That's so Miami. That's so good. That kind of logo that gives a Miami vibe. Do something like that. If you're not gonna change the uniform, yeah, at least throw fans the bone. That jacket, that looks awesome.
That jacket right there, yeah.
That guy's look. Oh my man.
I'm just gonna tell you right there. That is the jacket and that logo that is on that jacket. That's what I love. I am not,
I love that Dolphins.
First off, I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm so less worried about uniforms and the logos than most people. But if you tell me preference, I'll wear whatever. But if you tell me preference, yes, if you want to go back old school, I'm cool with the old school. I'm down with it. Let's freaking ride. But if it was me rolling with it, if let's say I took over, you guys better damn believe 2000s Dolphin stuff is coming back. That's my bread and butter. That's what I love.
And if you like Bobby's jacket, go to Caneswear. That's jacket's from Caneswear, so go to Caneswear.
That's right. That's right. The Cane, yeah. Shout out to Caneswear. Hold on, I think I could do that. Let's see. Will it work? Let's see. Let's go. Let me change this back up. Hold on. We're getting there. There it is. Caneswear, 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Or you go to caneswear.com. That jacket, so more Hurricanes, Dolphins, Heat, Marlins, anything South Florida sports, you can go to Caneswear. And of course, shout out to the Caneswear podcast. They were on twice for 2-3 hours at a time last week, talking Hurricanes, Canes basketball, draft, all that and above. But yes, he's absolutely right. Go to Caneswear for that jacket and more. It's a beautiful freaking jacket. It really is. I love that.
And that font, that logo, that should be the permanent Dolphins.
Let me see if I can
you see that word Dolphins?
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'll be here. You can see that word Dolphins, that wording. That looks Miami.
And
that looks a look we have right now. I like it, but
look, that logo right there. That's
your favorite logo, I know.
Oh, that's my favorite, bro. I love that name. I grew up on that. Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, Ricky Williams.
I still remember.
Jay Fiedler. I don't give a damn. I'm a Jay Fiedler mark.
I still remember what it was the first time I saw that the Dolphins announced the logo. It was on Sports Center around 7 p.m. They showed that the Dolphins had revealed a new logo. And that such fun memories. The Jimmy Johnson gave us so much hope. And he brought us a team that made the playoffs, didn't win a lot, but that's the last probably the seats of the last team that won the playoff for the Dolphins 25 years ago. So it's been a while, but that logo rocks. That's one of my favorite logos.
100%. I want to say Randy McMichael. Oh my goodness, don't get me going, man. Yes. Randy McMichael, Chris Chambers, Aronde Gadsden. Was it Tim Rudy? Tim Rudy was the center.
Tim Rudy was with John Shula. He won the first years with
yes. Tim. Yeah,
I think the first
Cam Madison,
season,
Pat Surtain,
2 seasons. Yes.
Brock Marion,
Sean Wooden,
Saya, Junior Saya,
Orlando Mare. You saw Orlando Mare, right?
Orlando, yeah. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
The best kicker of all time for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Agoulier, probably butchering that. He was the edge rusher.
And
those are my dogs. I grew up. Those are my
yes.
Keith Jackson, Keith Boyers. Like, come on, man. You guys gonna give me all Lamar Smith? Come on now.
I used to love Keith Boyers.
That was Ralphie Boy and me, man. That was what I grew up. That's what that brings me back, man. Giving me goosebumps here. But that's why I have affinity for that logo. So when people go, man, I want the old school logo. I get it. We have it on our logo. Fence Talk Today, Sammy and I. We have the original logo, but my logo, my favorite logo is that one there.
And the Fizz TV
Marty Booker, David Boston.
Yeah. There you go. Wow, David Boston with the biceps.
You remember?
He couldn't even reach his, scratch his nose because those biceps were so big.
You have to push his elbow
against the wall because those biceps were so big. The dolphin on the Fizz TV logo is an homage to the 90s to the 90s dolphin. So that's your favorite logo, and that's basically the same for that.
Yeah,
Fizz TV logo.
Man, we can throw guys all in. Who again? I think Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush. Remember Reggie Bush was on Dolphins? I like Reggie Bush, man.
Oh, Reggie Bush. So if there's a player that you forget was a Dolphin, was Reggie Bush because but he was so electrifying at times. He wanted to be a real runner. He was ahead of his time.
They made him.
Yes, but he was ahead of his time. Could you imagine Reggie Bush in this NFL where you basically do so many things differently?
He was only there for 2 seasons, and I still yes. Like if I see I love buying trading cards. I do that with my son. That's what we're into, and he's really getting into it now. And now we're trying to really, but like when I see a Reggie Bush, like I go on WhatsApp, WhatsApp? No, not WhatsApp.
What?
Oh my goodness. Whatnot. Thank you. Whatnot. And I see a Reggie Bush. I grab that Reggie Bush card. I love Reggie Bush. Charles Clay. Who can forget Charles Clay? The mix.
Broke my heart when he broke my heart when we went to the Bills. You know, I remember.
Oh, horrible. Yes. Horrible. Now another fullback, Rob Conrad. Can't forget Rob Conrad. Rob Conrad. Rashad Jones. See, we could go all day, man. See, now we're gonna reminisce, brother.
Diesel, the Diesel.
And, you know, you can do that with all the Dolphin quarterbacks. You know, like if I go, you know, you had, of course, Jay Fiedler, Damon Heward, Ray Lucas, Brian Greasy. I remember my brother thought Brian Greasy because Bob Greasy. He was like, it's gonna be great. No, AJ Feely. I remember Monday Night Football. We got the Eagles. AJ Feely. Remember that? Oh God. Gus Frerotte. I actually liked Gus Frerotte. I know Gus Frerotte was.
I like Gus Frerotte much more than Eddie Feely for sure. Yeah. Gus Frerotte, you know.
I gotta call my brother hard. My brother Nick. He just had his first official wrestling match. He won. Matt Moore, but I remember when we saw, was it AJ? I think it was AJ Feely. He was either Brian Greasy or AJ Feely, one of those two, but for sure. But I remember it's Monday Night Football. It's the orange jerseys, which I love too. Those orange jerseys were unbelievable.
Yes.
The other ones that came later were ugly, but the ones that they had back then were great. But I remember it was Monday Night Football, and you saw the guy, like they did a below angle shot of the player. And my brother goes, Bobby, he's gonna be good. He looks like a quarterback, bro. He's gonna be a good quarterback. Ended up being horrible. It's like good times. Good times.
Yes. Almost
sidetracked, man. We're sidetracked here. Let me make sure.
Yeah, but the over 400 are watching really enjoyed the sidetrack. You know, thank you for
dude. We got over 440 people watching live from all different channels. You got on X between Bob, my X, Bobby Finstock, Finstock Today, Finstock Network. I mean, Finstock Network on YouTube and Fins TV. If you're joining us live, we appreciate you. If you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, come on over to YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Join into this conversation. If you're watching post show, give us your thoughts, the breaking news, Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Nick Westbrook, and James Daniels all cut. I will say this. Oh, Vontae Davis, you know.
Yeah, you know, I had to laugh because, you know, Vontae was such a character. Such a character. He knew he was a character.
Yeah. That was so sad. You know, you'd be like, you couldn't even feel bad watching him now. You couldn't be mad at him during the game.
Jeff Arden was such a
prick, you know, prick. But let me just say this. Let's jump back here for a second. This type of move, cutting Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Nick Westbrook, James Daniels and Nick Westbrook especially, more than these two guys, because more than likely Tyreek and Bradley Chubb either would have been restructured, extended, or maybe traded, who knows, with Chris Greer. More than likely restructured, extended. James Daniels and Nick Westbrook in a Chris Greer era, they would have been exactly where they were. They would have stayed put, despite injuries and everything else. We would have won in next season, and because Greer was not someone who wanted to admit mistakes, he would have kept them, left them, and prayed that he would stay healthy for the next guy. This is no longer.
It's gonna work, and it never works.
For my son, for our children, Sammy, this is no longer your dad's Miami Dolphins. Because this is what you would want to see. If you make a move on a guy and he can't stay healthy or he can't play up to par, you move on. Clean, get rid of it, bounce house, move forward. That's what I like to see. Sean Smith, corner, big corner.
Those arms, you know, like
that guy. I love the names.
Like a giraffe. Like it's so tall, so long.
Vontae Davis quit on team, and so did X. Dolphins connection. Oh man. But like James Daniels, this is a guy, I look at his name. We were happy when he got signed because hey, it's offensive line. We need that. He's a quality offensive lineman when healthy.
Not a bad contract, so everything was okay.
No, it was decent. But he never was available. He was out. No. In a Chris Greer world, he would have stayed on the Dolphins, and you would have hoped that he would have gotten better and gotten, moved forward. You would have hoped that he would have been able to be available for you. But this is no longer Chris Greer Miami Dolphins. This is no longer your dad's Miami Dolphins. This is a new era. And they move on. And that's exactly what you should do. Greg Maney in the house. Great to see you, Greg. He says exactly. Greer keeps them. This new regime moves on. How long have we wanted this? Love this new era already. Bam! We got some positivity in the house. Greg, great to see you, man. We're going to have to get you in here. It's been a little bit since you've been on. We'll see if this new attitude works well in Miami. Only time will tell. Well, the new attitude, the old attitude hasn't. So it's time for that new attitude. So now, if you're just joining us, again, breaking news, Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, and James Daniels, all going to be officially released by the Miami Dolphins. That's breaking news from everywhere and anywhere. Tom Pelissero, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, everyone. If you're talking about Miami Sports Insider, Barry Jackson, all reporting that these guys are going to be released. It is official. So there's a new era in Miami. We are just waiting. Oh, Sammy liked the show. Okay, Samuel Chico, appreciate you. Oh, is that you? Oh, wow. Batman just revealed his mask.
That's my government name.
I know. Hey, Robert. Hey. No. Don't do that.
Hey, what did I do to you? What are you calling me Robert?
Don't do that. Not even my mother calls me Robert. No, it's like, no, I don't. I'll be right, Robert. You know, Bob. I don't like being called Bob, and Robert's like, yeah. Again, that's the government name. It's like, hey. You know, Robbie. That's my mother. I calls Robbie. Nobody else calls me Robbie. I think I let one person call me Bob, and that's my Alex. Alex's wife called me Bob, and it's like I don't even like it, but I just gave up because she just keeps doing it. So appreciate you, Jamila. Much love. Pain in the ass, but Steve, you're muted, Steve.
Great point, Sammy. Great point.
Yeah. Shout out to Steve Allett. Awesome dude. Fins TV. Oh, look at that. There he is. He just popped in. That's so funny. We just name dropped him. And he jumped in. That is awesome. Steve, we just brought you up, man.
Great timing.
Steve Allett.
Yeah. And what he says is completely 100% right. No matter what, 2026 is going to hurt.
It was going to hurt either way.
Yes.
But at least now, at least shots fired. At least now, you know what I mean? They're not going to hurt us bad because you know where it's going. I had no idea that was a thing. Sammy does it all the time. He mutes himself, and we go, Sammy, you're muted. He'll come back and go, oh, I'm sorry, I pulled the Steve. So I've never seen you do it, Steve, but obviously you have. You know. Poor Steve just minding his business on President's Day. Let me go in and support the fellas. They're talking shit.
That's because I love you, Steve. That's fine.
Hey, let me just say, for those who don't know, Fins TV, again, Fins Talk Today, powered by FTSN and Fins TV. If you haven't watched Fins TV, go check it out. Sammy and an amazing crew, Steve and Shari and Adrian and Jason. I mean, awesome fellas. Yeah, what you see in the comments is what you get, man. Those guys, that's true friendship, man. Just be able to hang out, have fun, and laugh. But can you imagine you just mind your business? Let me go check the guys. Yeah, that's Steve. What a prick. Like, wait, what did I do? What the hell? I just got in here. That is awesome.
By the way, we're not calling you a prick, Steve.
No, we're not. We're not.
Ireland was the prick, not you.
Ireland was the prick.
Yes.
Insane. Oh God. But no, but Steve's right though.
Yes.
You know, and it's the thing. People are like, oh, I wish we didn't get rid of this guy and that guy and this guy and this guy. Problem is, if you didn't get rid of him, the team wasn't going anywhere in the first place. You know, this was going to be the team was good. You may have had a little bit of a run. Oh, wow, we won 4 games in a row, and then we lose the next 8. Now you expect it. Now you know. Now you're like we said. Steve said this on Fins TV, the award show, and is absolutely right. No expectations. Little to no expectations. What your expectation should be is watching your young players step up. How do your young guys do? How does Chop Robinson do in his 3rd season? How does your second-year player, Quinn Ewers, or your rookie quarterback, or whomever that is at that point, how does he step in? What does Devon Achane do in a new offense? What are these young players who are going to have to step up and play? How are they going to do? How's Sully and Halfley going to bring in these guys? What players are they going to bring in? How do these guys step up? Now, if we're not going to win a lot of games, don't look towards that. Use that as a measuring stick for how your team's going to look. But hey, we only won 6 games, but damn, man, that rookie quarterback, he showed some stuff. Or damn, man, that safety, that corner that they got, he's going to be something.
Yeah.
Raphael says it's always Super Bowl or bust. Dolphins, I don't know what direction franchise is heading. Well, they can't go down because they're already down.
Actually, I think that's the difference. I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust, but that should be the goal. That should be the destination. That should be the way the Dolphins go going. The problem is when they do things ahead of their time, they then not close and they go in too early, and that's what happens. So more than one time they put pieces in there, and Ndamukong Suh when they're not ready. We're gonna make it fair. Wallace, what the wide receiver for the Steelers at that time, they put pieces sometimes that it's too early. They're not ready, but they invest with a team that is not cohesive. It's not right, and that's the problem. If they're gonna do the slow burn thing and they're gonna go back to take a step forward, I approve of that. I think that's the right with Steve says. If new regime, they're building around a couple of key pieces. Who are those? Honest question. Who's untouchable? Anyone? Well, that's a great question. But is a difference with who's gonna be? The Dolphins are already proven that no one's untouchable. Just ask Vladimir Thompson. He even said he will trade himself about the Dolphins got that trade. So the only thing you will never trade is that kind of franchise quarterback that is not going to be tradable, or that awesome defensive end that a bad scatter kind of a player that you say that you're never going to find someone like that. But other than that, I would not trade Achane, but I'm not sure they will not consider it because again, this regime is not attached to anyone. They not pick the players. They have no attachment to any other players. They can do whatever they want, and they probably would if their offer is right. Anyone's out of here.
Yeah. Again, is anybody untouchable? I don't know. There are guys that he mentioned. I don't know if they're actually untouchable, but I think those are guys that they may be comfortable to build around or say, okay, we have key pieces. Jordan Brooks was one. Devon Achane was another. I know somebody mentioned Jalen Waddle, but I don't think he did. I think he just said Jalen's a good player. I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Waddle might be a guy you might see possibly dangled out there in a trade. But I don't know. As much as there are guys that I'd love to keep, I really would. I'm not advocating for any my guys that get traded, but I don't know if anybody's off limits because these aren't their guys. I do know, that a lot of teams would love to have a Devon Achane on their football team. And that might be a reason why Miami would move someone like a Devon Achane, even though I don't think they should. But I think because he's young enough, he's on a rookie deal. You do have to extend him, but still he's on a rookie deal. He's young enough where you're not a year away, but you're a couple years away where maybe he could be in his prime and you got something. But if your Miami's looking to try to get good draft capital, they could look to try to do that, make that move just to get more draft picks. It could happen. Steve says decades of going all in with pocket sevens, 100%. Greg Manny's ahead of the game. Greg says, hey, look, he was in Vegas last week, put $20 on the Fins to win the Super Bowl. He already has a place to stay in. So there you go. Hope.
I gotta put Greg May in contact with Matt Armstrong, our fellow for Fins. Those guys will get along so well.
My brother in the house, Nick Melendez, there he is. Nick Voss, stage name. Nick Voss in the house. Tyreek Hill cut. He just texted me. We're gonna watch his wrestling match. He just had his first.
Congrats on the victory the other day.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, he's excited. And so he's pulling double duty, man, performing as Elvis and doing some pro wrestling. So really cool. So, but he's joining us here. I told him, man, hey, we're live. He's like, oh crap. So I told him he just found out right now. So he wants to jump in there. So Raphael says send Tua a first round pick and hopefully not Waddle for number one pick for Mendoza. There you go. In reality, none of the current players are untouchable. All can be moved. I think you see again. I know what my preference is. That's what I'm going to say. My preference would not be the trade of Devon Achane. However, I think Greg is right. Where it comes to, even though that might be my preference, none of these guys were drafted by the current regime. I think all guys, if a team calls and says, hey, look, we'll give you a high-end second or low-end first or whatever for a Devon Achane, do you deny that? Do you let that? Do you move? Do you say no? I don't know if you do. So, you know, I wouldn't do it. Again, I love Devon Achane. But again,
it's hard.
It's hard to say no, especially when you're where you are. Agree with Tunzel Comp. If anyone is offering major picks, move any and all. There you go. And again, this is not your, I would say your grandpa's Miami Dolphins. No, it's not your dad's Miami Dolphins. I say that to our kids because, again, Chris Greer would have kept these guys. Chris Greer would have found a way to work, you know. Yes. And again, you still weren't going to go anywhere. Now it's like, no, we're gonna tear this down and we're gonna strip it down. We're gonna go build it back up. When's the last time Miami actually did that? You know, Greer tried to do that. He didn't really do it. Tried to do it. You know, this time they're actually doing it.
And it's basically what we talked about a couple of minutes ago. This team is gonna be this management is gonna be responsible going forward. They're not have any attachment to anyone who's here. So basically they have to look out for themselves. They're not gonna keep anyone, you know, because the fan base likes them or we like them or anyone likes them. If they get a fair deal, they're gonna train, they're gonna get more assets because they're probably confident they're gonna get better players that they already wanted here. That's why they were hired, because you know the guys that were here before failed. So they feel very confident they can do better. So I see no way they get a good amount offer. They're going to trade anyone, Achane or whatever. They're going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, and I will say, too, Slick, appreciate you jumping in here. Yeah, Twitter's being a little weird. I'm noticing that, too. Sammy and I have actually discussed that for a little bit now in regards to viewership and everything else. But I will say I did just see the tweet come up, too. Academy Award winning actor, one of my favorite actors, Robert Duvall, has passed away at 95 years old. Saw that. You know,
my Twitter, my ex not working, so whatever news you bring it, because
I just saw that, man. That sucks, man. Robert Duvall, one of the great actors.
No, Robert Duvall. So yeah.
What? Damn.
It's been a year, right? With a lot of great people.
Yeah.
Going away these past year. So wow. In Hollywood, yes, a lot of Robert Duvall is such a great.
I mean, my goodness, you know, just royalty basically. Duvall was great, man. I love Robert Duvall, man. The Godfathers are my favorite movies. I love those movies. Castle movies, classic military, highly recommend. Fernando Mendoza gives me Tim Tebow vibes on type of player in the NFL. Reason number one could pick be had. So let me ask you, Rafael, because you just said trade up for that number one pick to get Mendoza. Are you saying Tim Tebow vibes that would you still make a move for him? Do you think he didn't think he's going to be successful in the NFL? I would love to know that. Make sure. Let's see if we see anything here. Oh man, Robert Duvall. Let's see. As we wait. Oh man, let's pull this up here.
Well, you check it out. I'm reading a Joe Shad tweet that posted. I think it's very interesting. He says, "It's December 11, 2023. The Dolphins are 9-3 and hold a 27-13 fourth quarter lead at home over Tennessee in Monday Night Football. The Dolphins starters, Tua Tagovailoa, Raheem Mostert, Alec Ingold, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Water, Durham Smythe, Connor Williams, Leah Ackerman, Austin Jackson, and Keenan Lamb." So, what about that day? You know, remembering that day, I thought it was interesting because I see so many fans that basically say that was a turning point for the regime, the previous regime, that when they lost that game to the Titans, they lost the first overall seed in the NFC, and you know who would have happened? Maybe those players will get injured or whatever. So, the NFL basically the it can change in a minute. It can change in a play. So you know the Dolphins right now are down, but they do the right things. Who knows? That's why Baby White is on the table. You know, if they feel they can do anything to get this team further, forward, faster, they're going to trade anyone they can because, you know, the NFL's changed with one play, with one transaction. It is what it is in the NFL every day.
No, 100%. 100%. You know, and that's why, again, I say it should be little to no expectations. You know, Steve brought that up. 100% true, and I think fans should stick to that because we know damn well that, you know, you're going to have that fan next year after they lose their fifth time, and you go, oh, everybody should be fired. We should have kept McDaniel. They traded Tua. They cut Tua. they weren't going to do the damn thing anyway. But they make all these crazy moves, cutting, trading, whatever, build up the draft capital. No, there should be no expectations on this team next year.
No.
Doesn't mean that they can't do something. I mean, you look at the Houston Texans, you look at these teams that were supposed to fall off the face of the earth and then try to rebuild, and it takes that 1 year turnaround. It can happen. Is it likely? Absolutely not. Can it? Sure. But no, don't expect it. Not one bit, not one how. So, Sammy, what is the next move? If you had to predict, what is the next move? Because I don't think anybody was expecting this today, February 16th. Free agency a month away, obviously a couple months away from the draft. You know, again, Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Nick Westbrook, James Daniels, all cut. Miami moving in another direction. Tua either traded or cut. They want to trade him, but more likely they might have to cut him. But what is the next move? Is it Tua or is it
Absolutely.
something else?
It has to be Tua. I think that they're just trying to see they can get anything from Tua, the right combination. If we pay that or whatever, they can entice.
Oh, I think you muted your mic.
I'm sorry, any one of the other 31 teams. So they're still trying to work on that. They still have time. They had to settle the cap. You know, they see if right now we're creating some kind of space, probably going to give themselves more options. They're not right now. They're compliant probably with the cap, and they'll be able to see, do we make Tua a post June 1st cut? Do we take the whole hit all at once? They're trying to, to see if they can do that. Other than that, probably, the free agency is going to be here. Malik Willis is what everybody fan is talking about. You know what I think about this? I don't think the Dolphins right now will be smart to do it, not because of Malik Willis is not going to be a good player. I think he's going to be a good player, a much better player than he was in his time in Tennessee. But I don't believe that the Dolphins should, when you're going to take a cap hit for Tua with so much money, to take the risk of Malik Willis, probably reports like it's going to be north of 20 million. That's a lot of money for a guy that might end up being your backup if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work out, so it's too much of a risk. That amount of money, when you add Tua and the cap hit, is too much. And Sullivan, if it doesn't work, that's a risk Sullivan is taking, because if it doesn't work, that he's off to a bad start. He's gonna be, he's gonna basically put himself behind the 8 ball on that if it doesn't work. So I don't think the Dolphins are probably gonna do that. If he does that means they believe that he's the superstar. Chris Sims, who I still think is a moron, believe he is. So I think that if they go after Malik Williams, that means they have conviction. They're basically gonna do everything they can to surround him with the weapons. Not this year, but they're gonna probably do it in the next couple of years. So it's gonna be interesting. But I right now think that of course, the defense, that's half-left forte. So I think if they see they can add someone to the defense for the defense to make this team respectable, I think they're gonna go defense probably heavy in the free agency period, and probably draft heavy on the offense. Looking forward to March and April.
That's right. I think that's right on. Hey guys, listen, man, we so glad that you guys took the time to pop in with us. Steve Hallett, if we have a history of going all in on pocket sevens, paying for Willis with the team in this position, we'd be going all in with 4-5. Yeah, I don't see it. Again, if they did go for a Malik Willis, it would have to be at the right number, at a good number, and you would have to trust that this guy is their guy of the future. If they were to get Malik Willis right now with the team the way we project it to be, then they believe this guy is the future of the team, not the bridge. Mm-hmm. So I don't see it right now. I think draft and probably a low end free agent. We talked about it actually on FinStalk today. We talked about the Joe Flacco's and so forth, and I think that could be a case. We'll see. But we'll get more into it. Don't forget, FinStalk today live on Thursday night. We'll be live again, reacting to this, talking about some other stuff as well. 8 p.m. Eastern time, live here on FTSN. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Fins Talk Sports Network, and of course, Fins TV on YouTube as well. Those guys will be live again for free agency. They'll be live for the draft content as well. So make sure you're checking them out, Steve and Sammy, of course. But yeah, so guys, appreciate you all taking this time to join us. Happy President's Day to those who celebrate. Enjoy your day. And hey, who knows? Maybe some more breaking news. Maybe we'll have to come right back in here, and we will
from the car.
From the car while I'm doing the tournament. I'll be live. Hey guys, Tua got traded. You know, maybe I would do it. But anyway, guys, appreciate you all joining us. That's Finn Sammy. I'm Bobby Finstock. Like and subscribe, and most importantly, Dolphin fans, fins up.